I'm Dr. Rochelle Whitaker, and welcome back to the channel. So we're on this series talking about spring fever. And last week we were talking to parents about mediating some of that spring fever that their children have. And so today I am talking to you teachers about some of the the escalation in behavior that you may be seeing in the classroom as it pertains to the whole spring fever thing. So I've been in education for a long time. I'm not going to say how many years, but for a long time, and it has not failed me yet that behavior escalates in the spring. After spring break, it's just kind of like, oh, I still got to be in school. So two things happen. One, you're coming back off of spring break, you've been out, you kind of get a glimpse of what summer looks like, and you're like, I got to come back to this. Also, testing, there's a focus on testing, as you know, teachers, as you know, there's a focus on testing during this period. And so things just kind of shift for you and for the students, right? Nobody wants to be at work anymore. The kids don't want to be at school. It's 10 weeks left to school here in Texas anyway. There are 10 weeks left to school, and so everybody's kind of like, nah. And unfortunately, testing is now it's in the spring. And so I don't know why that is, but it is. And so you have kids who do not, just like I said, kids, teachers, everybody, parents are just kind of like, oh. And so some ways to mediate some of this, because I know there's a focus on testing strategies and different ways for the kids to attack, long reading passages and math problems and different things like that. And it's not really fun. It's if we're just all being honest, it's kind of boring. So what are some ways that you can combat that? Oh, I do want to say I have been in the classroom before. I am still in the classroom. I'm not teaching Monday through Friday in a traditional classroom setting, but I am a Sunday school teacher, and so we still deal with the same, we still have to do things to help keep our students engaged in Sunday school. So I have taught before though, so I have been in the classroom, so I do understand. I'm not just kind of coming out of left field with this. And so I do want to say though, I do want to give you all some ways that maybe to combat, the spring fever. And some of those ways are like, even with the strategies, changing it up a little bit, doing something different. So maybe, you're teaching on how to, a strategy for reading comprehension. And so maybe throwing in a video to show that, and then maybe having a game where you're asking, okay, well, what are steps 1 and 2 that we can do, as part of this strategy to, get through this reading comprehension package. And so maybe, one of those games are, you all are using dry erase boards. So every student has it, or let me not say every student, like you pair the students in groups, and every group has a dry erase board, and so you're asking them questions and then they lift it up, and so if they get it right, then they get a point. And so you do that for a period of time, and then again, you watch the video for a period of time. Maybe you're at the board and you're doing Q&A with the students, and so whoever gets the answer right or the most right, wins a prize or wins computer time or something like that. But this, I think, could help to incentivize them to stay engaged, right? Because it's incorporating fun in something that's kind of dry and boring, and it's changing it up. And so I think that those are some ways to kind of increase engagement and maybe decrease negative behaviors, because what we know is when kids tend to get bored and they're not engaged, it's much like what happens on the job as an adult. When you're not engaged in whatever you're doing at work, you're doing something else, and so kids start doing other things, and so you start to see an increase in negative behavior. Maybe they go to the bathroom, they stay gone too long, just different things. I'm sure you're well aware, but I think doing some of those things can help to mediate some of that behavior and not drive you crazy. And so again, incorporating, videos about the focus strategies into your lesson, creating some games. There's a myriad of different kinds of games that you can incorporate, using Q&A, whoever gets the question right, putting the kids off into groups, and having them figure out different strategies and giving them different prizes. And it doesn't have to be something tangible. It can be additional computer time, reading time, whatever it is, the things that your students are into. So this is again, we're talking all about spring fever, and I'm coming with you all for some tips because I know it's rough in those teaching streets. And so yeah, so stay tuned. If you are a teacher and you're like, you know what, we need her at our school for to do trainings or something like that, the link is in the description box, and so you can click on that, fill out the information, and I'd be happy to come to your school and help you all, motivate you all while we have these 10 weeks of school left, or even getting into the school year. So again, in the description box, and stay tuned. Next week we're talking to parents.